I'm looking forward to seeing how they're gonna utilize the Viper, because I don't know. For me, it doesn't seem like that good of a pick, but still, you never know.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, most of the time when you do see it, it's like a last pick gotcha pick like grab, you know, where the never toxin break is just fundamental to ruin certain heroes' lives. But we'll see how it pans out. Obviously, with these second set of picks, Disruptor gets grabbed from Wayfarers, and then Cybercats go for the immediate Grim and Bloodseeker pickup there. Okay, so that's just generally a pretty good lane combination in itself. Inkswell onto the Bloodseeker, he just goes charging on in. Can generally be a good setup for the Bloodright as well. So I think it's going to be quite a nice defensive safe lane for them.
One of the best counters for the Razor, of course, in the game is the Bloodseeker. The Razor thrives on moving around the fight, and he thrives on going on the heroes that are fat and immobile. Bloodseeker doesn't allow you to move. Yep. He is pretty fit, and he is pretty fast, probably the fastest hero in Dota. Of course, then you have the Viper and the Hoodwink, very annoying heroes, which are always going to keep someone somewhat low for the Bloodseeker to be pretty fast. And they pick a Beastmaster. I mean, I'm kind of thinking Funnick is like, I want to play the Beast because, you know, Bloodseeker is also a really good Beastmaster counter in the lane as well. He does quite well against the boars. He is pretty fast himself, so the boars aren't going to be slowing him that much. You secure the range creep quite nicely with your Bloodright. Even the Stroke of Fate is quite good at dealing with the boars and securing the range creep as well. So I'm not the biggest fan of this Beastmaster pick, but on the other hand, if you kind of disregard the cybercats lineup, the Bloodseeker, the Grimstroke, or anything, Beastmaster IO are a really good combo to buff up the Razor. So you know, we could be seeing a Razor that just annihilates everyone.
It's true, yeah. As well as the Beastmaster just being a fantastic relocate setup. You know, that raw stun lasting 3 seconds, wherever it is, all the time in the world for that reload to complete, and yeah, should be able to net pickoffs relatively easily. Obviously, it depends if Cybercat's in the correct position to actually provide backup to whoever does get caught or not. But, you know, that's just the general idea about those two picks right now. So it's looking like both teams have obviously left their mid laner as the final picks right now. And as, you know, standard mid laner meta goes, all the spirits are being banned. Storm's gone, Ember's gone. You don't really see too much Void Spirit anymore. Like, he sort of just dropped off the face of the earth. So I wonder if that could be a potential pickup.
That's what I thought as well. Then on the major, teams kind of started playing him. I guess you do have some of these players that are really good at him, but if you're not in the current meta, he just doesn't do enough damage. With the Grimstroke in play, though, it wouldn't surprise me if they go for him. But the thing is here, Cybercats, in my mind, if this is not a mid lane Viper, I'd like to see a Queen of Pain. A Queen of Pain is one of the best heroes to deal with the Razor. You're missing on the burst damage. It's one of the best heroes against the Razor overall because you stop him in his tracks with the Sonic Wave. And the way that you deal with the Razor is burst, right? You get him to half HP at the start of the fight, so he cannot commit, and suddenly it's very hard for him to do anything. And Queen of Pain is one of those heroes that can even do it through a BKB. So I'm looking towards Wayfarers to ban out that one, because it's just too good of a counter for a Razor. And you know, Viper and the Queen of Pain, they can kind of swap out the lanes. You can put an off-lane Queen of Pain if you really want to, if there is a good counter for, let's say, a mid-lane Queen of Pain.
Yeah, 100% does make sense. But they've not really left themselves much reserve time here, Wayfarers. Already down to just 3 seconds, and Lina is actually going to be the hero of choice there. Okay. So we'll see what Cybercats are then actually going to pick up, whether they go for that Queen. And it's actually going to be the Kunkka. Okay. So I think that's mainly because of, like, X mark onto, like, the IO relocate out or something like that. It's always been a very good counter to it. So that's obviously going to be the main reason. Also, he actually gives a bit of team fight, which they were actually lacking at this point. So they got that big AoE stun that comes in with the boat. So that's always going to be a nice handy pickup. And Leshrak's actually the hero of choice there. Doesn't Lesh also hate playing into Bloodseeker though? Like Rupture, he wants to be running around, constantly getting those dots off. And if you're Ruptured, you can't really accomplish that. So it's an interesting pick.
It is. The thing with Lesh is he kind of solves the problem of the Wayfarers lineup, and that is burst magic damage. He has AoE burst magic damage, literally, so he can kill anyone. Wayfarers, they have good setup. They have solid push already. Now with the Lesh even better. They have good farming potential. Their lanes are actually quite strong as well. The Beastmaster IO, the Disruptor Razor, or the other way around. It doesn't really matter. Both of them are gonna work out quite nicely. And then what you're missing someone that is actually gonna get a kill, because you roar someone, and if the Disruptor is there, what are you gonna do? Just right click him to death? It's not gonna work out. So the Lesh does allow you to do that. You kind of need the Puck, a Spirit, something along those lines. Lesh, he is the next best thing, and of course, yeah, he's bad against the Seeker, but the thing is that the Lesh is really good with an IO. So while Razor is farming, the IO, you can be with the Razor, but ideally you let him be alone. You kind of stack for him a bit, and then you go play with someone else. Lash and the Storm have been the best ones currently in the game to kind of pair up with the IO. So even before this Bloodseeker can go in, you know, even before he can fight, defend towers or anything, the Lash and the IO are gonna create havoc around the map. And of course, you have that relocate out. Even if he gets ruptured, you're still gonna be quite okay, because you know there's a relocate out. You go to base, you reset, and you go in again.
Yeah, there's definitely answers to it. See how, obviously, you know, you can say something should work out that way on pen and paper, but as we know from Dota, nothing is given. There's always going to be the potential that things go wrong. And Wayfarers, I'm sure after that humbling loss in game number 1, they're going to be a little bit more cautious about how they take on further engagements. Ooh, the smoke actually nearly connects onto each other there at the top, but just about falls back in time. Yeah, not going to get anything there. Imagine if Rupture worked against Relocate. So, like, you relocate out and then you just take all that distance travel damage. Wouldn't that be broken?
Yeah, for sure. As far as I know, it's 1300 damage, 1300 range. If you get away from 1300 range, that's the max range of the Queen of Pain Blink, you don't take damage. So if you would TP a smaller amount than that, you still take damage. If you would relocate a smaller amount than that, you would still take damage. So I think that the smart move from Immersion here would be to always take your heroes to base, if you can.
100%. Looks like Wayfarers did come over to try and make some space there inside their own jungle to guarantee the bounty rune, but making that move does actually sort of give away their Observer Ward, which gets immediately countered out. So cybercats are going to be a little happy about that. 2 for 2 bounty split with a free ward. It's not a bad way to start the game.
Yeah, definitely not a bad way. When you said that maybe Wayfarers are gonna play a little bit more cautiously, I actually want them to be even more aggressive than in the last game. Are we really gonna see a tri-lane versus tri-lane? I guess they want to crush this Razor lane, so I'm really liking it that Happy Durara actually stayed here to fight them.
Yeah, that's a good read to realize that this tri-lane was going to come out. So not something you really see all too often, and it is generally quite exciting when it happens, because you just know people are going to be dying in this lane. And that's always entertaining to watch. Deaths are always good for us. So who do you think comes out here in this 3 versus 3?
For a tri-lane to work out, you need to get kills. So there is some kill potential on the side of cybercats, but they need level 2 on the Grimstroke and they need level 3 on the Viper. That's too much to ask for in a try versus try, so I think that Wayfarers are going to be quite okay here. They're trying to apply pressure. You can see what's happening, but it's still not enough damage, and the IO will heal everyone to full, especially with the Hedras. The other team doesn't have that luxury.
Yeah. We saw the cute play then from Fezzle. He put down an Iron Branch to get the Bushwhack, but then Immersion just ate it, and now he gets that extended Tango just to heal back up onto the Razor. So I don't think Fezzle was quite ready for that. Just ends up helping out Immersion and Albuquerque quite easily.
Good thing for... Oh, the glimpse.
Really? Okay. Oh, just straight up going for the TP. He is not messing around. Doesn't want to risk just running away normally. I mean, that's going to force out the salve at least. So, you know, good bit of chip damage there. And that's generally what tri-lanes come down to. It's like a war of attrition. Who can use up the enemy's regen the fastest generally will end up winning.
I have to say though, cybercats did a good job here. They pulled the lane back. The enemies got level 2 first, and they didn't use it to get a kill. So usually when you're a weaker lane in the sense that you can't kill the enemies, if you get level 2 first, you might actually be able to. They didn't manage to do it. So now DK Focus is actually getting a ton of experience, and the supports on his side already have level 2. So they're probably gonna allow him to have a little bit more solo. Once the Viper is level 3, that's when the damage starts kicking in. So I think Wayfarers are probably gonna start being more aggressive now.
Yeah, go for the stag link, but nice bushwhack as well as the stroke of fate to hold him away, as well as the two-man hit there with the Inkswell. But Hideo, maybe he's overextended. Those right clicks are hurting the Fairy Fire, just about keeping him alive long enough for Albuquerque to die instead. And it might just be a doubles. Happy Durara, he's not going to be able to escape. Bushwhack again locking him in. So 2 kills to start off here, coming in for cybercats. I mean, I'm sure they'd have liked DK Focus to get the first blood bonus, but, you know, it doesn't really matter. You kill the Razor, it's going to be a huge advantage. Immersion? Is he going to be able to kill the Grim here?
I think Grim is going to go for a deny onto the Roche, and this Roche hits really hard. Yep, bam.
Yeah.
It's a sad day though. It's 26 seconds without the Grim. Where is the lane though? It is not in a good position for Wayfarers. I think they need to change something up here. It's not looking that great. Now the Viper will be level 3. He has a lot of mana, Enchanted Mango ready up as well. So it's gonna be quite tough. I think maybe we can use this little bit of time to look at the other lanes, because we really didn't have much chance.
Bounty.
Very true. Just been all focused on a tri lane. That's generally what happens. Yeah, so far this mid, 24-0 to Igor, 21-0 to Squad. So not really many denies coming about there, but they're just happily trading farm. Both of these 2 heroes are very exceptional at farming up the small camp to the side as well. So always going to be able to get that extra bit of income on the go.
Hey.
And then... Oh, yeah, go on.
Usually would see these ranged heroes kind of get a beating given to them by the Kunkka, but, you know, Lesh is kind of different because he's very, very good at threatening melee heroes, and he actually has a decent amount of base armor, so he, you kind of tend to that just straight farm between the two.
Yeah. Well, might see... Hopefully... I mean, there might be some solo kill potential from Igor once he hits his 6, like X into the boat and Torrent. Squad's definitely going to have to be careful about that one. Probably need a rotation in from the IO or something to keep him alive. Then meanwhile, the bot lane, it looks like Shingetsu's having a fantastic time right now. 26-9 to the 15-5 there of Phonics. So this Beastmaster not really having much of an opportunity here to contest the Bloodseeker. Just free farming away.
Yeah, you're playing against a race car. It's just not fair. There's a tri-lane versus tri-lane. These guys are always going to be low. Luckily for them, the Wayfarers, they have been able to kind of slow it down, but still, as soon as they try to do something, they're going to be taking the damage. Look at that. And suddenly, the Bloodseeker is stronger than he should be, and it just makes 2 lanes hard for the side of Wayfarers. Again, I mean... They're just waiting on here for their enemies to do what they want, to kind of come up with a plan. This time around, cybercats, they come up with the plan a little bit earlier, so I don't have much optimism for Wayfarers here. Look at that bushwhack.
Nice, fantastically placed. The Inkswell, the Stroke of Fate, sorry, connects onto all 3 heroes, just ramps up the damage even more. Sure, they don't find kill, but it's just more chip damage, forcing out that regen bit by bit. Keep themselves into a very dominant position right now.
What I would like to see now from cybercats is a ward on the lane that's gonna see at the tower, just to make sure if the Lash is TPing that you know. That is the only thing they should be afraid of right now. Or have a deep ward in the mid lane. I don't like this one from the Kunkka because it actually doesn't see if the Lash goes back to his tower. It doesn't see if he's TPing in. So I'd much rather see a ward top lane. Oh, they actually have it. They have one, but won't see the TP.
Thought he might have been going for like the boat play there, but just thrash on too. Yeah, the IO. One more right click. The dot damage should be enough. Immersion goes down. TP coming in here from the Lesh. Can they try and turn this fight around? The kinetic field stopping the escape there for DK Focus. He's slowly going to drop. The Pulse Nova doing so much damage. But Squad, he's actually pretty low right now. Not going to get punished for it though. Fezzle retreats into the trees. The Glimpse will guarantee the kill. Oh, he doesn't actually land the Torrent. And that's going to allow Squad to disengage. And then the IO is even going to come in to fill up the Lesh's bottle again. So they might just try and get aggressive once more. They've got the regen to do so.
The boat is still up though. That is the strongest team fight spell in the game right now. But I guess if the Lesh stays top with the IO, Wayfarers actually have a bigger chance of fighting Igor. If he doesn't find anything here, at some point he's gonna have to move away, especially because the Viper TP'd to the top lane, and that's gonna happen. As soon as you understand this on the side of Wayfarers, you will be going for an aggressive move. Squad X actually brings so much damage to the top lane.
Yeah. Albuquerque just tried to find what space he can, moved himself into the mid. I mean, he's still yet to hit his 5, but, you know, that is just the general nature of dry lanes. You're never going to quite hit those normal level timings that you would like. And he's actually going in for the Hand of Midas. I don't know. I always feel really iffy about this item. Some occasions it feels really good, but I'm not sure how I'm liking it in this certain game. Maybe he's getting it to just recover that XP difference, which I was just talking about, but I don't know. It's a lot of gold to commit just for like 30 attack speed or whatever it is. Especially seems how the IO gives you that.
Yeah, and we've already discussed the Seeker actually having a really good matchup against the Razor overall. I guess the Roar does change that a bit, but you're always going to have to focus down the Seeker, and if cybercats are starting off the fight with the boat, you're not going to be able to do it. The thing with the Seeker is you have to choose when you go in, and Shigetsu, I'm hoping that he knows what he's doing, though doesn't seem so, at least not now.
Yeah, gets hit by the Roar, the follow-up stun. Is it going to be enough damage? He gets the stick off, but nah, it's just too much damage coming out from that Lesh. Finds the free kill, and yeah, with 3 points here into the Diabolic Edict, gonna try and apply a bit of pressure onto the tier 1 tower. And this should be going down. I mean, as long as if Funnet keeps cutting the wave and such.
We talked about...
I mean, cybercats could defend it, right? Yeah, Igor, he's coming in. He's got the boat to use. But they just got the read. Funnet immediately backs on out. Oh, actually, the Hawk in the tree spotted the TP there from the Kunkka, so perfectly placed. And that's just a wasted TP there for Igor.
Yeah, I think that's why he was actually hesitant about TPing. The thing is now a big mistake from Grimstroke not having a smoke. In these kind of situations, when you have been dodged in the bottom lane, you immediately smoke to get to another part of the map fast. But now with the Kunkka moving away, with Grimstroke TPing top, it's gonna be an easy tower grab for Wayfarers. For Funnick, just him alone, and it's a big problem. So right now, cybercats, they need to make something happen, but I just don't see what you can do. Even if you would go for Lesh, the IO is most likely gonna keep him alive.
Yeah, it's always going to be a slippery customer. And with this observable, they did spot them. They get the rupture as well as the bushwhack lands, all the ults. Yeah, squad just dies. But I mean, that was 5 people from cybercats all collapsing onto him, so it's always going to be very difficult to try and survive in that certain situation. I mean, maybe if immersion was 6, could have got the reload out, but you know, again, the tri lane just couldn't quite get that level on in time.
You should never get caught by that for sure. I mean, this is why I was saying a smoke. A smoke can catch you if it's fast enough, but that wasn't a smoke and it wasn't really fast, that move. It was just cybercats running in like madman, and in the end they catch you, so it's somewhat of a big problem. The Wayfarers, they don't want to give the top tower away. They're going to be bringing in heroes.
Oh yeah, they're trying to make a move here onto DK Focus. They drop down the Disruptor, they relocate in. Immediately the Grim is gone as well as the Viper. A very nice quick move there to come out from Wayfarers to net those 2 kills for free. This is the power of the relocate. Just always going to be able to come in there, whatever setup is available, and find those pickoffs. And
the thing is, right now we talked about that move. If you found the fight or didn't find the fight on your safe lane, you need to smoke somewhere else. If you have a wisp, you don't need to smoke because you're immediately in the mid lane. And then cybercats, they have to choose: are we gonna commit onto the top tower and allow our mid tower to take a lot of damage or might even die against the Lesh, or are we just gonna be spreading out the map and not doing anything right now? So that is also the power of that relocate definitely coming in handy, and we can see that the map is spread up perfectly for the side of Wayfarers, whereas cybercats, they're the ones that need to smoke. In my mind, Funnick should not be caught by this. He's an old veteran, and we can already see that he's kind of aware that someone is gunning for him.
Yeah, he's got the read. The smoke is about to break here from Igor. Oh, does it? No, it doesn't actually go the right direction, but yeah, the smoke break, the Hawk spots out Fezzle immediately, and he's just TPing away. Fezzle doesn't quite react in time to try and go for that kill. Wasn't aware that the Hawk vision spotted him out. And just an easy, slippery escape. It's Kunkka. I mean, 12 minutes in, he's still only 0, 0, and 1. Generally, yeah, you see a lot more kill participation from a mid Kunkka. But talking about kills, the Grim has been caught. The Glimpse setting up for the kill. They do actually go for the Soul Bind. So they got the double X into the Torrent. Even going to commit the boat, but they're going to need some more people right now. Even going to be the Tumblers toy squad just easily evades the damage. And that's just salt in the wound there for cybercats.
Immersion was even ready with the relocate, so that was never gonna work properly. Again, cybercats in the early mid game aren't the ones making plays. I like that Igor is at least getting a ton of farm, even though he's running around the map constantly. Oh, glimpse. Viper seems to be going down.
Yeah, he's another one. And cybercats again, they're coming on in to try and turn something around right now. They got the X mark on towards the IO, but it's only 2 of them. So no, they do not have the damage output. I think they're just having to try and wait for Shingetsu to start coming online a bit more. I mean, he's got his Maelstrom completed, and then yeah, the BKB queued up next. So once he's got that item, that will probably be the opportunity for the cybercats to just go for active 5-man hunts and see what they can find.
Right now, good thing for cybercats is that they haven't lost their mid lane tower yet. In my mind, there were opportunities there where Wayfarers could have pressured it a bit. At least they done some damage to it. But when you have a lineup with the Lesh and the Disruptor plus the Beastmaster, you just want to chase. The thing is, though, still in terms of resources on the map, Wayfarers are getting a ton more, because you can see that Funnick is controlling the bottom part of the map. But this time around, at least cybercats do have a ward there on the outpost, so they know where Funnick is at all times. But the problem for me is that they're not trying to get him out. With you allowing him to be there, you're just losing in the farm game. So the first thing you need to do from cybercats, go for a smoke. Once you get the Beastmaster out, then you move somewhere else. That is what you do. And okay, finally they'll go for it. I just think this should have happened a bit earlier.
Yeah, Funnick caught from the X into the boat.
Relocate.
There is some help coming in. Yeah, Immersion. Going to be able to get him out of there. Lovely save. Probably will just cost Immersion his life. But, you know, as an IO, you're always going to be aware that that sacrifice is just necessary. Unless he does some incredible outplay. But that's not going to happen. It's always nice seeing Kunkka and IO on the same team, because then you can always like X mark him in base and just save him. Oh, meanwhile, up top, Shingetsu! He actually gets caught there. Happy Torara with the glimpse to cancel the TP. And that's your POS 1 dying. I mean, he did kill the tower at least, but definitely not worth the trade of his life.
Yeah, for sure. You know, as I mentioned at the start of this draft, when I said they aren't making enough moves, and that is true for both teams here. The main one, the one very easy to read. So in Dota, I like to see moves that are like, while my teammate is doing something on one part of the map, I'm gonna be doing something else, or at least preparing myself. SquadX 2 times in a row, he's in a good position when he knows that the enemies are going towards the bottom lane and he doesn't touch the mid lane tower. He knew that they were going on the Beastmaster. It lasted for a good 30 seconds. Even Funnick TP to the mid lane there after the relocate. They were still hunting the IO. He did not touch the mid lane tower. This tower would have been down right now if he had just understood what was happening. So Funnick, I have to say, he has been creating a good chunk of space for his team on the bottom part of the map. First dodging the smoke and then having the Wisp ready to survive the smoke, and SquadX hasn't been able to utilize that. So those moves from Funnick, they're not that good anymore. And SquadX might be in some trouble right now.
Yeah, everyone's coming on in here from cybercats. There is going to be the relocate save yet again. Oh, it doesn't actually come off in time. Squad just dies too quickly there from the sharpshooter. Funnick even gets hit from the rupture. He's trying to retreat. The glimpse is going to make a bit of space, but I don't think it's going to be enough to save Funnick's life. Actually, Xmark gets committed on towards the Disruptor instead. Fantastically placed Tidebringer strike there from Igor to net both the kills. And that is a pretty damn perfect fight to come out there from cybercats, netting 3 for free, as well as this tier 1 tower about to fall down.
Yeah, that is a big thing, especially because you have a Lesh and the Beastmaster on the other side, which means that they're really capable of taking towers. And there were some moves from cybercats committing a bit too many of their heroes, which didn't go punished by the side of Wayfarers. And this, to me, I mean, Funnick is doing a solid job with his Beastmaster controlling the bottom part of the map, and no one, literally no one is utilizing it. So on one hand, you have cybercats who are allowing Funnick to do whatever he wants, and when they actually want to address him, he outplays them, be it by his own senses or with the help of his teammates. On the other hand, though, no one of his teammates is using that, so his moves, they don't really matter. Sure, Alberca, he has the hand of Midas, but we already talked about it. The Seeker, later on in the game, he does not care about the Razor. He can have 10 items. He's gonna run circles around you, kill your supports, leave you for last, and then when he gets in your face with like a BKB basher, he is actually gonna win the man fight even so. So I'm not actually having much faith in Wayfarers right now. When I saw the names, I was like, okay, these guys are one of the favorites, but with these kind of plays, I don't think they can hope for much.
Yeah, like, just the lineup that they've gone for, it really needed to excel after that laning phase and then just start spiraling out of control. But yeah, 1k gold advantage for cybercats at basically 18 minutes into the game. It's definitely not going the way that they would planned. I mean, yeah, even if you just looked at these two lineups on pen and paper, you would always assume that the Wayfarers squad would have more tower kills, but yeah, they've only managed to find one at 18 minutes in with this lineup. It's definitely a bit off, and they have to start swapping some things around, changing how they're going to try and look for kills and engagements. But then even this move into the enemy jungle gets spotted out from this observer ward, so Igor's not going to get caught. They evade yet again, just not finding anything.
He's even thinking about fighting. Right now you have a DD and the BKB on the Razor. That is nice, but so much burst damage.
Nice. Yeah, nice bushwhack. The Soulbind as well. Connections to the relocate out, but you just took away your source of damage. Actually, it was just off to the side. They're trying to re-engage, but the Nova, he's taking way too much damage. Squad is just gone. The Razor there with the DD, he's not even able to do anything with it. He just has to run away, and Immersion just gets picked off. Oh no, they really needed a fight to go their way, but they just lose yet again. Can't get anything out of it. Lesh death for the third time this game. And that was with the DD on top of the Razor, but he just couldn't actually get on any kill whatsoever.
This is what happens in Dota when you don't utilize your most basic of timings, even if it means losing the net worth, losing the farm on the map. You need to take those towers down because that's what your heroes are good at. And even if the net worth was higher for cybercats, if they didn't have a mid lane tower in that scenario, it would have been different because you wouldn't just catch the Lesh off guard and kill him. Now Wayfarers, they're probably gonna stay away from their enemies until they have a BKB on the Lesh. At least they did some damage to the tier 1, but it's not going to be enough. So right now, I think cybercats are going to be pressuring up quite a lot. You want to be playing on the top part of the map, you feel stronger, and until the Lesh has the BKB, you're going to apply so much pressure. The Skunka with the BKB, he does not die, and Igor is going to be more than aware of that.
Yeah, it's just getting harder and harder as this game goes on. To get to fresh BKB online with his Maelstrom, they're definitely eager to try and find some fights. Like, yeah, even when the Lesh does get his own BKB, the Rupture's still going to be a huge problem for him. Do you think it's worth building a Lincoln Sphere? Because if you think about it, there's not a huge amount of targetable skills on the side of side. Actually, no, there's quite a few. They got Phantom's Embrace, there's the Viper Strike, Acorn, the X Mark. So every hero does actually have a way of removing a Lincoln Sphere, so yeah, maybe it's not as good as I was thinking.
I'm actually okay with it. You know, a lot of those spells don't go through BKB. This is going to be another BKB charge away from the Razor. That is a problem. Roberta, though, this time around, he's going to be fine. He is not going to be caught, luckily for him. And he actually knew that it was coming, so actually chooses the right path to get himself away. But cybercats, they want to be at this part of the map. You want to play the top part of the map. You want to force the side of Wayfarers to go here. On the other hand, it's not hard for Wayfarers to respond. Push in the bottom lane by Funnick and be ready to relocate there once he roars. That is everything that you need to know, though. Happy, he should be on the bottom lane just to glimpse anyone who comes in to defend the tower.
Yeah. Igor does come in with the X Mark just to try and clear it away, but obviously we'll go back and this tier 2 will actually still fall. So, hey, at least Wayfarers finally find a second tower. It is again in the bot lane, but you know, objectives found, it's money, it's a bit of space, they'll work with it, but at the same time, cybercats now actually going inside the Roche pit. Wayfarers are aware of this right now. They're smoked up to the side. They're going to get the engagement on towards the Grim. They drop the ult there, which does get the silence, but the Soulbind already came out onto Squad, but there's not actually anyone close enough for it to connect, but they're just going to drag back in there. Slash, he's taking a lot of damage. The heal's there from Immersion. He's able to get the relocate out. He will stay alive. And now the potential re-engagement, if they can get this grab onto DK Focus, nice kinetic field, actually forces out the BKB, and the torrent lands, which actually disconnects the static link. So, Wayfarers, they actually force cybercats away from the pit, and Roshan, look how low it is. They're just going to clear this up in seconds. That is big.
Yeah, that definitely is big. You know, once I saw Wayfarers going for that fight without Flash having a BKB, I was like, he's gonna die without getting anything off. But cybercats, they don't focus him down with everything they had, and of course with the Grim not being there without the inks, well, you're actually missing a huge chunk of damage. So I'm actually surprised that Wayfarers made that work for them, especially because the Lash skipped the BKB. So now he has the Aegis. It's gonna allow him to get that BKB. The core items will be there, and again, Funnick is the MVP of the series. He played the previous game quite nicely with his Beastmaster as well, and he's doing so in this game as well too, because he pushed in the bottom lane, he kind of forced that X, he gave his team the idea of where the enemies are, and then with the smoke they could actually stop the Roche. So Wayfarers, quite nicely done. Those cybercats again allowing the Beastmaster to do whatever he wants. If you just smoke and kill him and then run into the Roche, it suddenly becomes a much easier game for you.
Yeah. So most of the time with those first Aegis pickoffs, it's not really used aggressively. It's generally there to, like, you know, deter the enemy team away, to keep your farm going without, having the threat of being picked off. But that's obviously not the way that Wayfarers have to play this game. They've got to use it aggressively, carry on looking for fights as best they possibly can. I mean, they are always huddled up, at least a group of 3 right now. Like, Immersion and Happy Durara just sat behind Squad at all times, seeing if anyone from cybercats even attempts to go for the kill. And they go for a smoke right now. They're going to head up towards the top, but everyone from cybercats has already abandoned the area. Actually, looks like they might go for a smoke themselves. They're all in their own jungle.
I think they're somewhat aware of where their enemies are. They don't know for sure, but they know which part of the map they are at right now. So they're going to allow the top lane to fall, and they want to take control of the bottom part of the map. And this is, I think, something they should have put more emphasis in this game overall, because the side of Wayfarers, they don't have good Roche taking potential, and you just brought the fight to the Roche. That's why you lost it. If you were playing on the bottom lane while you were stronger in an open area, you probably would have done quite okay for yourself. So them allowing the Beastmaster to get this much and to control the map that nicely, it is definitely a mistake, but finally they're understanding it. So what I like from cybercats is that they are adapting. This is something that we saw from them in the previous game. They adapted on how they need to fight, how they need to approach, and they adapted in this game as well. So from the bottom lane, when there is no Beastmaster there, when he needs to push out, that is when you go for a smoke, exactly what they're doing right now.
They're going to have to try and get something good out of it. If they lose another fight, it could be a sort of similar situation to what we saw in game number 1. Obviously, Wayfarers having the lead and then made a few mistakes and threw it all away. And might happen the same time. Depends with cybercats, though. They're going to stay cool, calm, and collected and not end up taking any awkward engagements. Both teams have just also completed an Assault Cuirass. Albuquerque got his AC online, as well as one being there for the Kunkka, so that minus armor reduction is just going to get negated from both sides. And Squad charging on him. There is a high ground ward here, though, from cybercats. They got all the information in the world, but Squad not even caring, still charging in. The split earth's not going to land, but Fezol's in some real danger. The glimpse backwards, he's going to get picked off. But talking about getting picked off, Immersion was completely separated. They've lost their eye. That's going to be a big part of their sustain, but regardless, Shingetsu was on his own. He will die. Igor having to just go for the BKB TP away as well, and realizing that the Roar was actually on cooldown. But still, it's a 2-for-1 with a buyback there on cybercats. So I think Wayfarers are very happy about that engagement.
Yeah, more than happy, I'd say. You know, Wisp dies. It's not that big of a deal. It's probably the worst hero to lose at the start of the fight. But here's the deal. I always repeat it. Carry players, non-Bloodseeker specialists, hate playing this hero because it's so hard to know when you can run in and when you cannot. You kind of need to find the perfect perfect way to go in every single time. You're pretty much like a PA without a blink strike, you know? So
Yeah.
so you need to run in. And here's the deal. Every time you run in, Funix is going to roar you. You have the static link to break your Lincolns every single time. So that's not going to help you too much. So I'm kind of looking at Shigetsu as the one who made the mistake there. If he hadn't died, if he stayed alive after the Wisp had gone down, and you just make a long drawn-out fight, it would have been much easier for them. But he needs to be a bit more careful how he approaches these fights.
Yeah, it's always the nature of a Bloodseeker. Generally a glass cannon. Meanwhile, quite a lot of pokes it on towards the Lesh. Still has that Aegis for 15 seconds. So he's trying to get some actual usage out of it, but they take down the tower. He's going to try and disengage the pokes and prods from afar. Maybe they can end up taking Squad down. BKB actually gets committed here for DK Fogus. Yes, Squad. He does not want to let this regen go to waste, and he will get it. Going to heal straight back up to full. Oh, Funnick, though. Look how separated he is. He's going for the BKB. Oh, he's just dead. He's a goner.
Left alone in this
Hands off the keyboard. Yeah, that's rough. But, you know, he just took the wrong direction, deciding to head down south. Maybe he just forgot he didn't have a TP on him. And he's like, ah, damn.
So either way,
it happens, though.
You told me that to cast the DPC, you kind of didn't go and help your friend out. I think that your friend probably feels like Funnick right now. Like everyone left him alone, like for their own selfish gain. So
don't give him any more ammo, man. Don't give him ammo. I'll feel bad. Oh no. Okay. But still, as it stands, you know, Aegis now gone, so cybercats, I think they're going to feel a little bit easier about taking any further engagements themselves. Still potentially another 2 minutes before Roshan number 2 actually could respawn. Do you think they want to try and make a move in that amount of time? Or is it just a matter of trying to farm up to your next item and then get that second Aegis online, and then they can feel a bit more comfortable trying to go for some kills and make some plays?
Right now, I don't think anyone is going to be forcing out the fight straight off. Like going into in an area that you don't control. Just like that. I think right now it's going to be a battle of who's going to control the map better. For me, I think that for now, Wayfarers have been doing a better job at it. Of course, having the Beastmaster, it kind of does make sense. That's how it's gonna go. Though I would like him to be on the bottom lane. So once they know that he's on top, that's why there's gonna be a pick-off here on bot.
Yeah, poor old Happy Durara. Pos 5 life. You're always gonna be the first one to die. But you know, he just allows everyone else to disperse. He also got the D-ward before he died, so you know, it's not too bad of a trade. I think he just about makes money off of that off that engagement.
Right now, I'd rather have Funnick on the bottom lane and the Wisp Lesh somewhere else, because the Wisp can always bail out the Lesh, whatever is happening, and the Beastmaster will be doing the push in either way. So then you have the option of going for a Roar relocate, and you're gonna be controlling more of the map. It actually, and of course you're gonna control the bottom part of the map, which is the more likely part where cybercats are gonna go for a pick off, just like they did. So I'm kind of looking at Funnick. Just go towards the bottom lane. That is your place to be.
His home away from home. I mean, I'm quite surprised actually that in neither of the first game or this one, nobody has actually built a Wraith Pact yet. Like, that item is so popular in the current metas. Like, it's in nearly every single game for the major. Like, Pos 5s pick it, even if like an offlane does want to do so. But neither team really that interested in going for the item though. Is there a particular reason about why they're not doing that, or do you think it's not something they're used to doing?
While we were enjoying the major, they were scrimming, and they obviously didn't get the memo that the item is just OP right now. It needs to be maybe taken down a notch. So I'm guessing that's the only reason. Either way, we're gonna have a smoke and probably a really big engagement.
Igor forced to use his BKB straight off the bat. He's going to use the boat there to make a bit of space. They get the double rupture off though, so that's going to hold the Razor back for a bit. But Squad, look at him, he's absolutely in there. But the BKBs are avoiding a lot of the damage coming out from that Lesh Trap. But still, the Grim's dead. Deco Focus also getting picked off right now. Wayfarers, they take a nice little fight, get 2 for nothing, and Roshan has just respawned, which was scouted out from the Hawk. So that's going to be the second Aegis and Shard on top of everything else. And yeah, it really feels like Wayfarers, they're just going to be able to start running away with this game so easily.
Yeah, you run into your enemy triangle, like madman with fire heroes, and you get a good fight going your way. So both of the BKBs were used. You immediately go into the Roche. It's gonna be pretty much perfect. I have to say though, the MVP of that fight is definitely Squad X. He blinked in and he stunned 3 heroes. With that, it made sure that the only thing that cybercats can do is run. They're not gonna be able to turn around. They're not gonna be able to fight. They're gonna have to use their BKBs defensively, and they still lose to heroes. Even if they would lose none after that kind of a stun and all of those spells being expended, it would be a free Roche for Wayfarers. So Squad X really doing a good job, but of course Alberca, he understood just how strong he is. We talked about the Razor getting to a point where he is untouchable, and he's pretty much there. Imagine if the IO is on him. He even gets a DD in the bottle. He has a Satanic, he has an AC. That Midas really did do work for him. He's very high in levels as well, and Alberca is the most powerful hero on the map by far.
That's for sure. But one thing you got to note is Hand of Midas. Look, it's on cooldown at the moment because he put it in his inventory, but Hand of Midas off cooldown. Oh, there we go. Used it. That's fine. That's fine. Never like seeing the item without being used. And still, high ground push coming out. Igor trying to kill the creeps, which he does manage to, but still the physical damage coming up from everything else forces the glyph. And it looks like Wayfarers, they want to carry on pushing right now. They're not completely falling back. I say that, and they are actually going to fall back. Even just relocating to the bot just to deep-push the wave.
Run out the base fast.
Oh, actually, yeah, cybercats, they saw it happen. In they come. The Roar immediately lands on towards the Kunkka. Can they actually get the kill before he gets the BKB? Doesn't even matter. He just dies. DK Focus trying to retreat, but the physical damage raining in from the Razor still finds the kill. So even though that was a 3 versus 5... even Fezzle dies. Like, how did cybercats lose so badly? 3 versus 5, and they don't get anything. Still going to try and carry on charge, and they're onto the Razor, but he's a tanky man. He's got that Aegis still for another 3 minutes, so what's it really going to do? I don't think anything at all. Shigetsu's getting super low. He's going to have to retreat, but DK Focus, he brought back. He immediately dies again. Even a glimpse to grab the Grim. Oh, it's just from bad to worse here for cybercats, and now that's an entire set of barracks. Probably... I mean, they could either Megas or maybe even end the game. There's only a buyback available for the Grimstroke. And yeah, they're going for tier 4s.
Yep, this could be it. Wayfarers are going to be equalizing it. And yep, there's the GG. I mean, I have no idea what Kunkka was thinking there. Chasing, good. You have a ward, you see the Beastmaster and a Disruptor with an axe. The only reason I would see him running like that is, oh, the Disruptor doesn't have an axe, but he has had it in the previous fight as well, so you should be aware of it, and he's on your ward. So you see the Disruptor, and you run up the high ground, and you don't use the BKB against the axe. That was the only death from Igor in that entire game. And it was the most obvious one. That is exactly what's gonna happen to you if you run up the hill, though. I wouldn't want to blame him, though. I have to say the Bloodseeker hasn't really done much in this game other than crushed Funnick in the lane. And that is because, again, if you're not an expert on this hero, if you haven't played him for like 300, 400, maybe even more games, and you don't know him in and out, how much damage you can take, how much you can survive, go in and out, you're not gonna be doing well with him. We are, again, used to tier 1 players on the major right now. Whatever they pick, they're gonna be doing well on it. Well, here in tier 2 Dota, it's just not how it works. So I think that you should skip this hero if you're not 100% confident on how you're going to utilize it.
Yeah, I mean, you can understand the reason why they grabbed it. They picked it into the Razor. Obviously, the Rupture's a good counter, as well as Lesh being there at the end. But yeah, like you're saying, clearly not one of his favorite heroes. So just doesn't really work out. 1, 3, and 5 was his end score. Never nice to see that on your POS 1, but it does happen. But yeah, like you said, that is now the series even 1-for-1, now down to a best of 1, and those are always the sweet spot of games. Like, that's when you really feel people start getting desperate. Maybe some crazy ideas start coming to the forefront. I mean, we already saw tri-lane on tri-lane for game number 2, which is rare enough, but yeah, quite eager to see what these two guys, or two teams, are going to be bringing out for game number 3, which will be coming up in about 10 minutes, guys. So don't go anywhere. More Dota to come.